Hello and welcome to the WIHS Journal Public Affairs program. I'm Gerry Williams. Well, today on the Journal, you'll be hearing my conversation with gospel recording artist Steve Antoine. We play some of his music here on WIHS. You'll hear Steve talk about his conversion story, his street preaching mother, what it's like over in Grenada during the pandemic, and some of the things that he's been doing to help keep his immune system strong in the midst of the pandemic. This conversation took place a few months ago. That's all happening now on the WIHS Journal. It's news and public affairs.
Jesus can fix it. It is no secret. You better believe it. It is no secret. It is no secret what God can do.
Well, in Connecticut, in the area of Hartford, you'll find a lot of folks from the West Indies. Me being from California, I would run into someone from Jamaica every now and then, someone from Barbados every now and then, and so on down the line. But here in the Hartford area, you'll find a lot of Jamaicans, folks from Trinidad, St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenadians. And right now I'm speaking with an bona fide, authentic Grenadian. We're talking with Brother Steve Antoine, who's also a gospel recording artist.
So is this your first time interviewing someone from Grenada?
Absolutely. And I'm pleased to be interviewing you. After all, we play your music, so I thought I'd be remiss, being that I know you, we play your music. It was just a slam dunk that I would, request an interview for you, and you were gracious enough to say yes, so I appreciate that, Brother Steve Antoine. So you're from Grenada. You grew up there. You spent your first how many years in Grenada before you came over to the States?
I came to this country at age 24.
What brought you out here?
I got an invitation. I had an invitation letter. And I did also won a contest back then, that allowed me to travel. And my main intention coming here way back was to try to do my music, improve myself on my music, as far as writing songs, etc.
Take us back to Grenada. What was it like growing up in Grenada, in your family structure? What was your childhood like growing up? Also, did you come from a Christian home?
Yes, well, my mom was a very loving woman, Christian-loving woman. To be honest with you, she was a Catholic, but she was one of those different type of Catholics. Not that I'm trying to put down Catholics, but she was a person that she would pray anywhere. She would talk to people about God. And until after a while, she started going to church someplace else. She was. You could see that she was searching for some place to worship where she is comfortable. To me, she was a nice Christian woman.
How many siblings do you have?
8.
Now, did your mom, as she was searching, going from congregation to congregation or cathedral to cathedral, wherever she was going, mass, did she bring you and your siblings along with her, or she would go by herself?
No, at the time I'm a little boy, but maybe 10, 11, 12 years old. Yes, I was a little rebellious kid back then, growing up. Well, she never really invited me to go out with her. But I remember certain times when she would take a microphone and go on the street and preach.
Your mom?
Yeah. She was not an evangelist or nothing like that, but she was just doing her own thing. There were times when she would say she had visions. And I remember one in particular vision that she had that came through. Yeah. And one time she was going on the street and she was saying that blood was going to run on the street like water, After I grew up a little bit, I realized what the vision was all about, because we went through some things down there. Mm-hmm. But she was just a nice, God-fearing woman.
If you're just tuning in, I'm with Brother Steve Antoine, also gospel recording artist. You hear his music on WIHS, songs like Here I Am. Before we get into your music, talk about your conversion story.
Well, number one, my sister was the first one that I saw. She was going out. You know, my sister's like, what, 5 years or 4 years older than me. She was going out as a young girl, and she was evangelizing with her friends.
Your sister, too? Yeah. Like your mom would go out and street preach, and so your sister would go out and evangelize?
Yes, yes, she would. And that kind of, you know, grabbed my attention. You know, there was one time when I asked her, I said, "What are you going? Where you going? Where you going? What are you doing this Bible in your hands? What are you going to do?" She said, "I'm going to witness." I said, "What are you talking about, witness? What is witnessing all about?" Even though I was a young kid, I was inquisitive. I wanted to know what's going on. And she said, "We're going to tell folks about the love of God." I said, "Well, so tell me what do you want to tell me about this? I want to know I'm interested. I want to hear what you have to say." And she shared some things with me, and that kind of had me hooked on a little bit. Even though I was young, I never forgot. The few things that she said to me of for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, and simple things.
So you attend church here in the States now. How do you serve at your church?
Well, right now I serve I'm in the music ministry as far as singing in the choir, and I'm also one of the drivers for the shuttle, and I really enjoy doing that for now, and I'm looking forward to do a lot more things.
You being from Grenada, we don't hear anything about Grenada. At least I haven't. So you being a native of Grenada, I'm sure you get word as to how things are going over there on the island.
Well, I have lots of family members down there, brothers, sisters. And I pretty much get good information from down there. Now, the island is pretty small, 133 square miles, with about 100,000 people there. So, in a situation like that, you don't want anybody getting this virus because it will wipe out the whole entire, nation.
Are there cases?
Well, they said there was a couple of them, maybe a few, very few, but there was no deaths whatsoever. And to my understanding is that they took early precaution and closed down the airport and closed down, put a travel ban on to stop the virus from coming in. I've learned that there was no deaths, which is great, and right now they're pretty much opening up to the people so they can go on the beaches and I'm hoping that they can open up the airport as soon as possible.
Are there very many churches and Christians over there on the island?
Oh, yes. And a matter of fact, I was talking to someone down there, and they said because there is so much praying people down there, people that praise a lot, there's a lot of Christian folks down there. They believe that God had pretty much, spared them from this terrible time. And a matter of fact, even my mom, when my mom was alive, she used to pray like crazy. That's what really draws me close to, to knowing God. Yeah, there's a lot of praying people down there.
Do you miss Grenada?
Yeah, there's the saying that say that there's no place like home, especially now. I would love to be in the sunshine, but I'm happy to be here. But I do love going back there as often as I can.
When was the last time you were there?
I've been there twice last year. By God's grace, I'm looking forward to go again this year.
You go back frequently?
Pretty much.
All right. You said that at first you were nervous, but now you've settled in, you've gotten your routine down, you're eating right, you're taking your supplements, and you're learning about a lot of things and how to get through this. I would imagine, too, you're sampling some of your own product in the form of your music, like, I am not afraid anymore. Yeah, I am not afraid. You could just put on your CD and start just listening to some of your own medicine there. But I am not afraid anymore sounds like what has come over you at this point, as opposed to when all this first broke out and people were, what's going on, what to do and everything. But you're more at peace.
Yeah, I never thought that song, I'm Not Afraid Anymore, would come into use, a time like now.
Time to eat your own product now.
Yeah,
along with a good smoothie.
As a matter of fact, I heard the song played this morning, and I was so blessed, because I was so scared when this thing just started.
Yeah.
I was, and when you get scared, you get weak. It's like your knees start buckling. And then I had to kind of wake up and say to myself, hey, you know what? Nah, man, you can't be scared. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. So that's the scripture that came to me. And I'm really encouraged. But this song in particular, and had really keep me comforted. I cannot be afraid of pestilence, of life. I gotta stay in God and let God stay in me and keep me strong as I go through this thing.
I'm not afraid anymore. Jesus, stand guard at my door. I'm depending on you, Lord, to carry me through my storm. I am not afraid, Jesus, of the raging storms. Oh God Almighty, I will show no fear.
So here we are in the midst of this shelter-in-place / quarantine global pandemic thing. What are some of the things that you've been doing?
As time goes by, I've realized that I can try different things to keep my mind stay focused on the whole situation. First of all, prayer. This motivated me a lot to get closer to God and pray more. And that's where I've been getting my strength. We heard so much different things, as to where the virus came from and what is the cause of it. But we know there is something out there that people, is dying from. As time goes by, I realized that there's a certain thing that you could take by trying to, build up the immune system. And what I've been doing, I've been using like fresh ginger. I took some ginger and garlic, squeeze a lemon in the ginger and the garlic, and I blend it, and I make a little paste out of it. I also put some honey in there, a little bit of cayenne pepper, and turmeric. I blended up, made a nice little paste, and every morning I would take a little teaspoon in the morning, and in the evening I take one more teaspoon. And what I could say for a fact, after I take it in the morning, I feel kind of energized, because I think that lemon juice is just so good. Make me feel really, really pumped up, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And I've been trying my best to rest a lot, and like I said, pray a lot. There are a lot of other things that I've been trying to do as far as making my smoothies and stuff. I like my greens, and I realized that it's stuff that I never used to do before as far as eating before. I changed my eating habits. Right. I try to stay away from the red meat and the pork. I try to do a little more fish, and a little chicken sometimes. And I do a lot of fruit juicing. You eat a lot of fruits, especially tropical fruits like mangoes and oranges and tangerine, and pretty much a lot of citrus fruits that have a lot of vitamin C. I went out and I got some vitamin C, 1,000 milligram vitamin C, and I try to do that all the time. I also got a good source of vitamin D, because my understanding is that a lot of folks that was pretty much dying in the hospital, they were saying that there was very little vitamin D in their body, and how well vitamin D and vitamin A, vitamin C will help you to fight off this virus. So I've been doing a lot of that.
I understand that you do something in the evenings or whenever you feel like, as far as inhaling.
I usually boil ginger. When the ginger starts boiling and a little steam from the ginger will come up out of the pot, I would just stay over it a little bit, and it clears up my nostril. Also, there is something that I also use in hot water called menthol crystal.
A menthol crystal?
Yes, menthol crystal. Put just a little tip of it, and it will bring up that minty, really strong minty fumes, and it will just clear up my nostril. I also use peppermint oil. Now, peppermint oil is you can get it from CVS, and I would put it on a little tissue, and it will last pretty much all day. And it will, if you smell on it, it will literally give you a little burning sensation in your nostril. So that heat, it brings heat to your nostril. So that heat will kill any bacteria, if any bacteria is in your nostril. So that's the stuff that I've done.
Decided to follow Jesus all the rest of my life. Truth and the light. So great is the one who's in us. Great is the one who heals us. Great is the one who delivers us. Greater than he that is in the world. He's the King of
you just heard my conversation with gospel recording artist Steve Antoine. If you would like more information about what you heard today, call WIHS 860-346-1049, 860-346-1049. The opinions expressed are those of the participants, not necessarily of those of the staff or management of the station. I'm Gerry Williams for the WIHS Journal. It's news and public affairs.